Right now, your dog is somewhere near you. Maybe on the couch, maybe on your bed, maybe pressed against your feet. It is completely relaxed, completely harmless, probably snoring, maybe dreaming about something that makes its legs twitch. It has eaten today. It is safe. It has no predators to worry about, no territory to defend, no prey to hunt. By every measure, it is living the easiest life any member of its species has ever lived. And yet, inside that animal, something ancient is still running. Something that has not changed in 15,000 years. Something that science is only now beginning to fully understand. The wolf did not disappear when dogs were domesticated. It adapted. It softened. It learned to read human faces and sleep in human beds. But it never left. And once you understand what your dog actually is, once you see the wolf hiding inside every single thing it does, you will never look at it the same way again. To understand your dog, you have to go back. Way back. Before houses, before cities, before farming. Back to the Ice Age, when wolves were not pets. They were apex predators. Wolves had massive jaws capable of crushing bone. A sense of smell 100,000 times more powerful than a human's. Eyes designed for hunting in total darkness. The endurance to run 50 kilometers in a single day. Compared to a wolf, an early human was laughably outmatched. Slow, weak, nearly blind at night, with no claws and no natural weapons. A human alone in wolf territory was not a predator. It was prey. Hunter-gatherer camps were surrounded by wolves every single night. Small bands of 20 to 50 people, fires burning low, wolves waiting just beyond the edge of a light. But humans were also messy. Messy eaters, messy campers. Even during lean times, a human camp meant bones, scraps, discarded skins, leftover carcasses. To a wolf, a human camp was a moving pile of free calories. The calculation for a hungry wolf was simple. Hunt a mammoth and risk getting trampled, or creep close to the noisy hairless apes and eat their garbage. The second option was considerably safer. The wolves that approached human camps fell into three groups. The aggressive ones got speared. The terrified ones stayed far away and starved. But the curious ones, the calm ones, the slightly less fearful ones, got food. And so, completely without anyone planning it, evolution began filtering the wolf population. The calm wolves survived. The calm wolves bred. The calm wolves passed their temperament to their cubs. Generation after generation, the balance shifted. This was not happening in one place. Across enormous stretches of the ancient world, in Europe, in Asia, possibly in multiple locations at the same time, wolves and humans were slowly, accidentally, beginning to change each other. For thousands of years, no human sat down and decided to domesticate a wolf. No one had a plan. The wolves were simply making a survival choice, night after night, camp after camp, edging slightly closer to the fire. In 1959, a Soviet geneticist named Dmitry Belyaev started one of the most important experiments in the history of biology. He worked in Siberia, and his question was simple: how does domestication actually work? He took silver foxes and each generation selected only the tamest individuals for breeding. He did not train them. He did not reward them. He simply chose the least fearful foxes over and over again. Within just a few decades, a blink in evolutionary time, the foxes began behaving like dogs. They wagged their tails. They whined for attention. They licked people's hands. They sought out human contact. But then something even stranger happened. Their bodies changed too. Their ears became floppy. Their snouts shortened. Their fur developed patches of white and brown. Their tails curled upward. Nobody bred them for these physical traits. They just appeared. Scientists discovered that tameness and physical appearance are linked through stress hormones. Animals bred for low fear have lower levels of certain hormones during development, and those hormones control how facial bones and ears grow. Select for calm, and the face changes automatically. This pattern appears across almost every domesticated species. Cows, pigs, sheep, rabbits. They all develop floppy ears, shorter faces, and irregular coats when bred for tameness. Scientists call it the domestication syndrome. It is not random. It is a biological package deal. This means the first proto-dogs probably started looking less like wolves long before any human intentionally bred them. Slightly softer faces, slightly calmer eyes, slightly less terrifying to approach. The domestication was writing itself onto their bodies. And at some point humans noticed. They noticed that some of the wolves nearby were different. Not quite wild anymore. Not quite dangerous. Something in between. And instead of killing them, some humans began to interact with them. Today, genetics gives us the hard numbers. Dogs and gray wolves share 99.9% of their DNA. That 0.1% difference is what separates a creature that hunts alone in frozen wilderness from a creature that sleeps under your blanket. For context, humans share 98.7% of their DNA with chimpanzees. No one looks at a chimpanzee and thinks of it as basically human. Yet dogs and wolves are closer than that. Far closer. The gap is almost nothing. 40,000 years ago is recent. Absurdly recent in the timeline of life on Earth. The mammals have existed for 300 million years. The wolf and dog split is a tiny footnote at the very end of a very long story. Now, let us talk about what this actually looks like in your house. Every single day. Starting with something you have definitely seen. When your dog spins before lying down, it is performing a survival behavior that wolves use to flatten grass, check for hidden snakes or insects, and position themselves to see approaching threats. There is no grass. There are no snakes. The behavior runs anyway. This is what behavioral biologists call a fixed action pattern. A behavior so deeply wired into the animal's brain that it executes automatically, even when the original trigger, the environment it evolved for, no longer exists. The digging. Your dog digs at the carpet, at the couch cushions, at the corner of your bed before settling down. It is not bored. It is not misbehaving. It is preparing a den. Wolves dig sleeping dens to insulate themselves from cold, to protect themselves from rain and wind, and to create a defensible position. The instinct to prepare and shape a sleeping space before resting is ancient and powerful. When your dog scratches at your blanket and rearranges it before sleeping, it is building a nest. It is doing exactly what its ancestors did in snow and leaves and mud 10,000 years ago. Your expensive duvet is just the modern version of the den floor. The food burying. Your dog takes a treat, carries it across the house, goes to the yard, and buries it in a specific location.
Not randomly, specifically.
It will remember exactly where it put it. Wolves maintain food caches across their territory. Buried meat they can return to during winter, when prey is scarce. The memory for cache locations is precise and reliable. Your dog has this same spatial memory system. It is just using it in your backyard. The strangest part is that your dog does this even when it has plenty of food. The cache behavior does not require actual food insecurity. It runs on its own logic, independent of current circumstances. The wolf brain does not trust that the food will still be there tomorrow. Now, let's talk about what your dog dreams about. Because yes, your dog dreams. And what it dreams about reveals a lot. Scientists have measured dogs' brain activity during sleep and confirmed they experience REM sleep, the same stage where humans have vivid dreams. The brainwave patterns are remarkably similar to ours. MIT researchers who study dogs during sleep found that the hippocampus, the part of the brain that stores memories of places and routes, is highly active during dog REM sleep. They believe dogs replay the day's experiences, particularly movement and hunting scenarios. Scientists believe different breeds dream about different things based on their instincts. Pointing dogs freeze and point at imaginary prey in their sleep. Water dogs paddle their legs. Herding dogs appear to round up imaginary animals. The specific wolf-derived drive of each breed plays out in the dream.